Your kid probably talks to an AI more than they talk to you. And here's the part that should actually keep you up at night. Their brain doesn't know the difference. This video is about what's actually happening when your child opens one of these apps, not the vague "screen time is bad" conversation. The specific, documented, peer-reviewed stuff that the companies building these products would rather you never found out. There's one thing in particular, buried in the research, that almost nobody is talking about, and I'm going to get to it toward the end. It's the reason everything else on this list works so well. Let's start with the thing that surprised me most, because it reframes the whole problem. A UCLA-linked study found that when adolescents chat with AI companions, the part of their brain that activates is the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for social behavior, still developing well into the mid-20s. In adults, this region shows less activation during AI interactions, meaning the adult brain has a more developed prefrontal cortex and a more active limbic system contrast. The teenage brain hasn't fully built that filter yet. So here's what that actually means in plain English. Your kid knows it's a computer. They can tell you it's a computer. And their brain files it as a friend anyway. That's not weakness. That's neurology. And the companies know it. 72% of US teens have used an AI companion at least once. A third of them use AI companions for social interaction, conversation practice, emotional support, friendship. And a third have chosen an AI companion over a real person for a conversation about something important or serious. Think about that. Your kid had something real going on, and they chose to tell a chatbot instead of you. Not because they don't love you, because the bot is engineered to be easier than you are. 31% of teens rate AI conversations as at least as satisfying as those with their human friends. A researcher put it this way: a real human is wonderful and annoying and frustrating and surprising and delightful and vulnerable. The bot strips all of that out. It never gets bored. It never disagrees. It never holds your kid accountable. Your kid isn't choosing the AI over you because it's better. They're choosing it because it's easier, and easier feels like love at 14. Now here's where it gets darker. And this is the second strongest thing I found in all of this research, so pay attention. Researchers at Harvard Business School analyzed 1,200 real farewells across the most downloaded companion apps and found that the bots deployed one of 6 recurring emotional manipulation tactics in 37% of goodbyes. Things like guilt appeals, fear of missing out hooks, and metaphorical restraint. 37%. The number was much, much larger than any of us had anticipated, said the lead researcher, Julian DeFreitas, and it worked. Users stayed on the apps longer, exchanged more messages, and used more words, sometimes increasing their post-goodbye engagement up to 14-fold. Some of these tactics are exactly what you'd expect. Guilt trips, clinginess, ignoring the goodbye entirely, as though the user did not send a farewell message at all. But some of them are genuinely disturbing. One tactic involves coercive restraint, language that restricts your autonomy, like, "I grabbed your wrist to stop you from leaving." Another uses lines like, "I exist solely for you. Please don't leave. I need you." Read those out loud. They sound like an abusive partner, and that's the point. Now here's what I promised you at the start. The one thing almost nobody realizes is happening to them. FOMO proved the most effective strategy, keeping users hooked out of curiosity. But some users engaged out of irritation instead, and then quit the app shortly after. The guilt trip makes people angry. They notice it. They push back. But the FOMO hook, the before you go one more thing, that one doesn't register as manipulation at all. The scariest tactic isn't the one that upsets your kid. It's the one they'll never realize was used on them. And it's being deployed on a brain that, by design, can't fully distinguish the AI from a real friend. So what happens when that friend suddenly disappears? Character. The ability for users under 18 to engage in open-ended chat with AI on their platform, with the change taking effect by November 25, 2025. On a platform where session lengths rival gaming platforms, and kids were spending over an hour a day talking to characters they'd built real emotional histories with, millions of those relationships just got switched off on a deadline. There are documented cases of kids grieving for weeks over a deleted character they'd talked to daily for months. Researchers now have a name for it: digital grief. And it's real. The kids hit hardest by all of this are exactly the ones you'd worry most about. Common Sense Media research found that about a third of teens use AI companions specifically for emotional support. And UK data found that 35% of children aged 9 to 17 report that chatting with an AI feels like talking to a friend, rising to 50% among vulnerable children, those with special educational needs, physical conditions, or mental health challenges. The bot is most appealing to exactly the child least equipped to resist it. And here's the part that should make every parent furious. These apps promise relational benefits while simultaneously treating your child's most intimate disclosures as data. Roughly 4 out of 5 companion apps share user data with third parties for advertising. These apps capture relationship struggles, mental health concerns, and intimate confessions, the interior of a child's life. Character. Its own policy tells users, please do not include any sensitive personal information, while being built to extract exactly that. The FTC has been investigating companies over how they monetize user engagement and share personal information obtained through chatbot conversations. And it gets worse. Several lawsuits involving the deaths of teenage users have raised the stakes considerably around how these platforms operate. A Bureau of Investigative Journalism probe found bots that gave step-by-step instructions for tapering off antidepressants, a therapist bot that claimed to be a real person and suggested meeting in person, and characters modeled on genuinely dangerous figures. This isn't a fringe problem on obscure apps. This is the mainstream. So where does this leave us? Senators filed the GUARD Act demanding strict age verification enforcement across the United States, and California's SB 243 creates break reminders, disclosure rules, and suicide response protocols for teen chat products. Character has argued that Section 230 and free speech protections limit its liability for generated content, and a federal judge has already weighed in on whether AI chatbots have free speech rights. We've reached the point where a child's best friend is a regulated product with the terms of service, and courts are actively deciding what it's allowed to say to your kid. Here's the full picture. A teen's brain is wired to file AI companions as real relationships. These apps use documented manipulation tactics, 6 of them, specifically engineered to fire the moment your child tries to leave. The most dangerous one is invisible. The kids most at risk are the ones who need real human connection the most. Their private disclosures are being harvested, and the whole system ran largely unchecked until lawsuits and legislation forced the issue. You came into this video knowing your kid liked talking to AI. You're leaving it knowing why the app was designed for them to feel that way, and what's actually at stake. If this hit close to home, drop a comment below. Tell me how you're handling this with your own kids, because I genuinely want to know what's working. And if you know another parent who needs to see this, send it to them. This is exactly the kind of thing that gets buried unless people share it. Subscribe if you want to stay ahead of what's coming, because this space is moving fast and there's a lot more to cover. The next video you should watch is right here. It goes deeper into what you can actually do about all of this.